Thank you for joining us for part of your Sunday today. I'm Shannon Bream.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both have the day off the campaign trail, but we do not.
Here for you.
Here for you. I'm Leland Vittert, and this is America's election headquarters from Washington. It seems like almost every few hours, Wikileaks dumps another batch of hacked emails from the Clinton campaign. We'll get to those in a minute. Kristen Fisher standing by. We also have new documents released to the House Oversight Committee suggesting the FBI investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server and handling of classified information could have been tampered with. But first, new information just in on the alleged quid pro quo between the FBI and the State Department and the possible criminal consequences of it. Catherine Herridge following the story as she has been from the beginning. Hi, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Leland. State Department Senior Executive Patrick Kennedy is a key player in the email investigation, as well as the 2012 Benghazi terrorist attack. And now he's at the center of allegations that there was discussion of a quid pro quo between Kennedy and an FBI agent investigating the mishandling of classified information. Staffers for 3 Republican members of Congress who sit on the Intelligence and Government Oversight Committees have reviewed new files from the FBI investigation. And based on those briefings, the allegation is that Kennedy wanted the classification of at least one email changed in a way that would benefit the department and Clinton. And in exchange, there was discussion of more slots for the FBI at embassies overseas. Quote, "This is a flashing red light of potential criminality," Congressman Chaffetz, who chairs the Government Oversight Committee, told Fox. Both myself and Chairman Devin Nunes of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence are infuriated by what we have heard. This morning on Fox News Sunday, anchor Brett Baer pressed Hillary Clinton's running mate on the accusations.
To your knowledge, did anyone associated with Secretary Clinton or her campaign ask or instruct Kennedy to seek changes to classification of emails?
Absolutely not. I have no knowledge that that happened.
But in this heavily redacted FBI interview made public in September, one of Kennedy's subordinates told agents that in May 2015, Kennedy was pressuring people to change the classification. Quote, "Kennedy held a closed-door meeting with Redacted and Redacted, where Kennedy pointedly asked Redacted to change the FBI's classification determination regarding one of Clinton's emails, which the FBI considered classified. The email was related to FBI counterterrorism operations." A State Department spokesman said the allegations against Kennedy are, quote, "inaccurate and do not align with the facts." The FBI has also provided a lengthy statement to Fox News that said the classification issue and overseas posts were discussed in the same phone call, but they were not connected. The incident, however, was the subject of an internal review by the FBI. We expect these FBI files to be made public sometime tomorrow morning, and that's when we will be able to independently review them, Leland.
Yeah, and you have to wonder when they release them how much of it's going to be, as you pointed out so often,
I know,
redacted.
Very heavily redacted.
All right, Catherine Herridge, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks so much. Shannon?
Well, the latest batch of Wikileaks emails reveals more behind-the-scenes campaign communication about Hillary Clinton's secret email server, as well as her ties to Wall Street and what she said in those private high-paid speeches to business executives. Kristen Fisher has been poring over the latest documents. All right, Kristen, what are some of the highlights in today's release?
Well, WikiLeaks just released hundreds of more emails from Clinton campaign chair John Podesta, so we're still going through some of them, but what we've found so far are his very frank responses to a number of important issues, from the San Bernardino shooter to the way Hillary Clinton was handling her own email issues. In August of 2015, about 2 weeks before Clinton finally apologized for her use of a private email server while Secretary of State, a longtime Clinton ally wrote this to Podesta, quote, "Her inability to just do a national interview and communicate genuine feelings of remorse and regret is now, I fear, becoming a character problem, more so than honesty." Well, Podesta responded by saying, quote, "Trying to figure out how to get her there and best way to execute." So that just goes to show you that even some of Clinton's top advisors were uncomfortable with the lack of remorse that Clinton was showing at the start of this whole scandal. Now, another email that's really raising some eyebrows has to do with Podesta's response to the San Bernardino terror attack. Someone sent Podesta this tweet from MSNBC's Chris Hayes, which read, "NBC News now reporting a U.S. citizen named Saeed Farouk believed to be one of the people involved in the shooting," to which Podesta responded, "Better if a guy named Saeed Farouk was reporting that a guy named Christopher Hayes was the shooter." So there you have one of Clinton's top aides lamenting the fact that the shooter had a Muslim name, and that really just underscores one of the biggest critiques of both Clinton and President Obama their aversion to using the phrase Islamic terrorism or radical Islamic terrorism.
Okay, so now that more is dripping out, are we getting a response directly from the Clinton campaign?
Yeah, we are, and they're really just continuing to go all in on the Russia angle, accusing the Kremlin of trying to interfere with the U.S. presidential election. Here's Clinton's running mate, Tim Kaine, this morning on Fox News Sunday.
Since they're part of an effort by both Russia and Wikileaks, and neither of those are kind of neutral transmitters of information, you can't just automatically assume that everything is on the up and up with these emails. Just as an example, there's one email that references me that is completely inaccurate.
So they're really trying to delegitimize these emails by saying that the source can't be trusted. But, Shannon, they're also not denying their authenticity. They're just not confirming them either.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way to answer. It's very nuanced.
Right.
But we're glad you're pouring through. Thank you, Kristen.
My pleasure.
Leland?
Right now, Donald Trump is at his estate in New Jersey getting ready for Wednesday's big debate. But this morning, the Republican nominee took a break to lash out at the media, tweeting, "Polls close, but you believe I lost large numbers of women voters based on made-up events that never happened. Media rigging election." And this, watch Saturday Night Live, hit job on me, time to retire the boring and unfunny show. Alec Baldwin portrayal stinks, media rigging election. More on this, Carl Cameron standing by outside Trump Tower in New York. Carl, is there anyone that Mr. Trump is not lashing out at right now?
There's a lot to unpack there for sure. We've asked our researchers in the Brain Room in New York to look into when the last time a presidential candidate was parodied on Saturday Night Live and then went to war with them the next morning. Donald Trump is not having a day off. He's been out in Bedminster at the Trump National Golf Course with a number of his top aides getting ready for the debate on Wednesday, just as Hillary Clinton is. And over the course of the last week, he's really sort of been road testing a whole number of new attacks, whether it's blaming the media for what he says is a rigged election, suggesting that the media collectively is shading things too much in favor of Hillary Clinton and against him, or whether it was yesterday's attack suggesting that there ought to be drug testing before the next debate, because in Trump's words, Hillary Clinton appeared pumped up in the first part of the second debate, and by the end of it seemed to be weary, and he suggested that there might be something going on that he didn't quite understand, and therefore drug testing to make sure Clinton wasn't doping would be there. And there was also this idea that the U.S. election being rigged has created some consternation for fellow Republicans. House Speaker Paul Ryan has said that the election is not going to be rigged, it'll be okay. And this morning, even Mike Pence, Trump's running mate, backed away from the idea that the election's results could not be trusted. Watch.
Well, one of the great traditions of America is the peaceful transfer of power. The stakes are so high in this election, but as Donald Trump said in that first debate, I'll say to you again today, we're going to accept the will of the American people.
Trump likes to talk about the polls when he's leading in them. There are two new polls out nationally today. One has Trump trailing Hillary Clinton by 11 points, the other one by just 4. And as you said in that tweet that you read earlier, Leland, they are close. They are close in the battleground states, and they're close across the country. But with 24 days left, there's little denying around the Trump campaign that they are the underdogs right now, and there's a great deal riding on this upcoming debate.